Mae gwersyll Tonfanna ar lechwedd Bryn yw Llawr Môr a môr pur dymhestlog ydi o heddiw. A hefo mynd fan hyn mae dirprwy gyfarwyddwr y gwersyll. Mr. John Beaumont was at one time the bursar of a multiracial school in Uganda, originally from Machynlleth, in Rhodesia, originally from Machynlleth and now back here as deputy administrator.
That's right.
How much of a job was it, Mr. Beaumont? The camp had been empty for 2 years. How difficult was it to set it up as a home for these Asian families?
Well, the first job was a very large task indeed, which was performed by the staff of the Department of the Environment, who really did this in a very short time. The kind of problems that we thought we were going to have were mainly problems relating to heating and feeding and all this sort of thing. But by the time we received our 1,400 Asians, which we did in over a period of 5 days by special train, we were ready for them.
You had, I gather, some fairly amusing times, particularly in connection with the religious festivals that have been held since they came here.
Yes, we did. It's an extraordinary thing. We have both Hindus and Muslims here, and they both had fairly big and important festivals soon after they arrived. The Hindu festival of Diwali, which is the festival of light, occurred in early November.
Yes.
It's a kind of Hindu equivalent of Christmas. We had special meals and a sundowner party. And the Muslims too, when they arrived here, they were in the middle of their fast of Ramadan and were very perplexed when they arrived to find that the sun rose and set at a completely different time to what they were used to,
Yes.
and also in a completely different place. So it was difficult for them to get back into the swing of their fast again. Well, anyway, at the end of the fast, there is the feast of Eid, and here the fast is broken at a particular time according to the phase of the moon. Well, at that time it was pouring with rain, low cloud, completely overcast, and they couldn't see the moon. So they didn't know on which day to finish the fast. And it had to be settled by a telephone call to Muslim headquarters in London.
Well, how about food? Were there any restrictions in terms of religious attitudes to eating habits and so on?
Well, the Hindus are vegetarians, the Muslims are non-vegetarians, and the Sikhs are non-vegetarians. Amongst the non-vegetarians, the Muslims won't eat pork meat of any sort, and the Sikhs won't eat beef of any sort. So as long as we keep the food separate, it can be served in the same canteen quite easily, but as long as we don't mix the spoons with which the food is served and so on, everybody gets along very happily and are quite content to eat together.
Yes.
We did have one of the first batches of people that arrived. They'd been here about 3 or 4 days, and we had a small party who came up and said they hadn't had a meal since they'd arrived. Well, it turned out that these were high-caste Brahmins who would not be allowed by their faith to eat food that had been prepared by anybody else. And
So they've set up in their own cookhouse?
They've set up their own cookhouse, and their requirements are very small. They only take wheat, flour, oil and spices.
Now, do the Asians participate in the administration of the camp at all?
As much as possible, we bring the Asians in. There's a council of residents, which Captain Fuller, the administrator, presides over. There, every kind of problem is discussed. Everything from feeding to litter troubles and all the other things that go on.
So it's a
And
pretty
it's
harmonious
a
community.
very helpful body indeed. One of the difficulties with the Asian participation is that with people leaving the camp all the time, you tend to lose some of your better helpers, because so often they're the people who are more easily accommodated and employed and are therefore the first to leave. But even so, we're setting up a new social centre now, where they'll be having a little bit of a NAFI type of canteen in there, and this will be entirely run by the Asians themselves.